Early in-person voting starts today in Wisconsin. What you need to know before going to the polls.
Plus, new changes to this week's presidential debate. How the debate commission is working to keep things civil on stage.
Rain and snow are in the forecast. I'll tell you where the ground may look a little white later on today.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us, everyone. It's Tuesday, October 20th. I'm Chris Stanford.
Glad you're with us this morning. I'm Leah Linscheid. Today marks 2 weeks until the November election. And if you haven't sent in your ballot yet, you can vote in-person absentee starting today.
What time in-person voting starts and how long it'll last depends on where you are. At the Madison Clerk's office, you're able to start voting at 8 o'clock this morning. The Clerk's office will stay open for early voting through November 1st. You'll have to be already registered, though, to vote in person on that day and on Halloween. We have a list of all the locations and voting hours up right now on our website, channel3000.com.
You don't even have to get out of your car to vote in Madison. They're, again, offering drive-up voting. You'll want to make sure you have your photo ID with you as you drive up. From there, you can show the clerk your ID through the window, then fill out and sign your ballot. After you seal the envelope, they'll sign it as your witness, put it into a bag with a tamper-proof seal. This is all to make sure your vote is secure.
A reminder that you'll once again need a valid ID to vote, whether it's in person or on election day. The address on your ID does not have to match your current address, though. The name has to match, though, with what the clerk has on the book. We also have a list of those requirements on our website, along with a lot of other election resources. Just look for the elections bar at the top of the homepage. Now, if there is one group that both Democrats and Republicans are trying to win over right now in Wisconsin this year, it's the people who live in the suburbs.
In the Badger State, they almost never go blue, but that could be slowly changing. North and west of Milwaukee historically has been considered red territory. That block of counties hugging the most populous part of the state, Milwaukee, it's one of the most reliable for Republicans. Waukesha GOP Chair Terry Dittrich says that's been the case for the past 50 years, and he doesn't see that changing.
But how people feel on these various issues, especially COVID versus, some of the law and order and violence that we've seen, going on around the state and even in places like Wauwatosa. I mean, these are big issues that are tugging at a lot of the swing voters.
Now, Charles Franklin, director of the Marquette Law School poll, says there's a nationwide shift happening in suburbs. It's been slow coming to Wisconsin, but Franklin says those areas still aren't as solidly Republican as they were a decade ago. The Washington County Democrat chair says party membership there has gone up by 60% this year. It's not enough to flip the county blue, but it still could make an impact.
I'm Josh Breder in the Alert Center. Developing right now at 6:02. We're learning more about how microphones will be muted during the second presidential debate on Thursday night. The Commission on the Presidential Debate says it's trying to avoid the chaos from the first debate. At the start of each of the 6 segments of this debate, each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer an initial question. During that portion, the opposing candidate's microphone will be muted. After they give their answer, both microphones will be unmuted to allow for discussion. President Trump said overnight he does plan to participate in the debate, but is objecting to the topics.
The Supreme Court says it will hear cases challenging President Trump's border wall funding and asylum policies. The case involves the Trump administration's attempts to use Pentagon funds to construct more barriers at the U.S.-Mexico border and its policy requiring asylum seekers to stay in Mexico while they wait for hearings in the U.S. The Supreme Court is allowing border wall construction to continue and other policies to stay in effect while the appeals process proceeds. The court likely won't hear this case until next year. The country's land borders with Mexico and Canada will remain closed to non-essential travel for at least another month. The Department of Homeland Security says travel restrictions will now go on until November 21st. Reuters reports the acting DHS secretary is working with both Canada and Mexico to plan on when they'll eventually and safely reopen the borders. The borders have been closed since March 23rd.
New developments this morning on the efforts to recall Governor Evers in Wisconsin. The woman leading the effort claims the petition now has enough signatures to get their movement on the ballot. However, she also suggested on Facebook that she is misleading the media. Misty Polowinski wrote she planned to, quote, make up some crap about the recall effort during an interview. According to the Journal Sentinel, she deleted the post after they asked her about it. Polowinski says she has never lied about the number of signatures her petition has received. The effort has until next Tuesday to officially submit 670,000 signatures. We'll take a look at this. Iowa getting some early snowfall. Parts of the eastern part of the state got around 3 inches yesterday. Other areas got more than a half a foot. Hattie McLean is here now with a look at your first warned weather forecast. More snow on the map. Look at that winter weather advisory posted just to the west of us. So mainly rain here today, but some people are going to have some white today.
It's getting close, Josh.
Yeah.
It's getting close. We have a look at what's in effect right now. A winter weather advisory for the northern half of the state, much of Minnesota. It is going to look more like winter than fall later on today for the North Woods. Take a look at your future track forecast model. Clouds in place and pretty quiet conditions right now. This model doing a pretty good job showing you that at 6 o'clock that snow is just crossing the border into Minnesota. Watch what happens though as we go through the day. By the lunch hour, that snow starts to spread through the Twin Cities metro area into northwestern Wisconsin. It does cover the northwestern third of the state by the time we get to later on this afternoon. Now here in southern Wisconsin, we're going to be just warm enough that I expect all rain from this particular system. And again, it will be late this afternoon into this evening. That snow and rain moves through and out pretty quickly. By tomorrow morning, things are quiet here across the state. But take a look at this. This is snow potential. There could be some accumulation, generally 3 to 5 inches. Some of these numbers have gone up with the last model runs, but with the ground still being relatively warm, we're going to be seeing numbers a little bit less than that, generally 3 to 5 inches expected, but no snow accumulation here for southern Wisconsin. Here's a look at the radar map. Again, that snow is starting to move in from the west. We are quiet here, though, across southern Wisconsin this morning. Temperatures are just a little bit warmer than they were this time yesterday. We're actually at 32 here in Madison, above freezing in Mineral Point, Boscobel, and Platteville. In the Dells, though, you're still below freezing this morning with 27 degrees. Our weather track showing you that we do have a lot of cloud cover in the area. Not expecting any sunshine through the day today. Our temperatures, though, are going to be a little bit warmer than yesterday. It's a southeasterly wind today, so highs should reach 47 later on this afternoon. Now that rain is expected through the evening hours, likely to be pretty light, widespread but light here across southern Wisconsin. Looks like everyone picking up at least a little bit, but most spots less than 1/10 of an inch. Here's a look at your extended forecast. We're still on track for warming temperatures Wednesday and Thursday, but then a pretty fast cool down starting on Friday. That high of 52 will be in the morning. Temperatures will fall through the day, and then we're back into the 40s on Saturday.
Still looking forward to that first snowfall, Hattie.
I know you are. Just a little more patience, Chris.
All right, I got to hang in there. So the Department of Health Services is reporting more than 7,300 new cases of COVID in Wisconsin. That does cover cases from Friday to Sunday. Over the weekend, the state's tracking system was updated, and that prevented new cases from being announced.
A Milwaukee woman thought her biggest battle would be beating COVID-19, but what she's dealing with now is much worse, a double lung transplant. Carmen Lerma spent 45 days in intensive care. She doesn't have any underlying medical conditions, and she's never been a smoker. But at the age of 52, she now needs a transplant as soon as possible. Her doctors confirm it's all because of the toll COVID took on her breathing.
That was a hard pill to swallow because I'm like, wait, what? What do you mean? And they said your lungs are not going to get any better.
Now she's on the transplant list and will be at UW Health here in Madison until she gets one. Even after a transplant, though, Carmen will have a pretty long recovery. She's been in a hospital setting with no visitors allowed since July 16th. Carmen says support from her family and friends is what's keeping her going. They've raised more than $25,000 to help with medical bills.
Blood taken from the sickest COVID-19 patients may make for the most effective plasma therapy treatment. A new study from Johns Hopkins indicates that the age and gender of blood donors seems to make a difference as well. They say the sicker a patient is with the virus, the stronger the antibody response seems to be. The study found that older men who were hospitalized with coronavirus were among the strongest candidates for plasma donation. Study authors hope this new understanding that not all donations have equal therapeutic strength will make a difference in future treatments. The World Health Organization says it expects to hear more in the coming week about trials for a possible treatment for the virus. Reuters reports Eli Lilly is expected to share more on why it suddenly paused trials of its antibody treatment. Earlier this month, the company put tests on hold after a sudden safety concern. The WHO's chief scientist says they're expecting that update as soon as this week, but no later than next week.
California says it will not be allowing any COVID vaccines in the state until they do their own independent review of it. The state's governor, Gavin Newsom, announced yesterday they will have a panel of experts ready to examine any possible vaccine. One doctor in the group says they don't view this as a delay to distribution, but an effort to make sure distribution is equitable. California now the second state to set up an independent review for vaccines. They follow New York's announcement last month. And emergency use authorizations for vaccines could be issued as soon as next month. Pfizer says they will likely be ready to file for emergency use with the FDA by the third week of November. It's a couple weeks later than what's previously been discussed, but it's still ahead of other possible vaccines. Moderna says it likely will not be ready to seek emergency use for their vaccine until December at the earliest.
6:10 on this Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at the roads. If you're heading out across Madison right now, this is the way things are shaping up. Some slowdowns along East Washington Avenue near the downtown area. East Johnson Street also having a few slowdowns. East Gorham, though, looking A-OK at this time. As you head down Park Street right now, we're starting to see a few backups as well, especially in the southbound lanes near the Beltline, up near West Wash as well. Stoughton Road and the eastbound lanes on the Beltline right there too. There's your drive times as you head out. We are moving along at posted speeds in and out of downtown, also looking good. That's your first one traffic.
6:10 coming up, how a local girl is trying to make the world easier for her brother with OCD.
Plus, a man has died after a police shooting yesterday. The latest on that investigation out of Milwaukee. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Replacing your windows with Renewal by Andersen is easy. We're here when you need us, and we'll work with you the way you want. We can inspect your windows from the exterior of your home. And when it's time to install your new windows, we complete most jobs in as little as 1 day, minimizing the amount of time in your home. Our teams take health and safety seriously. It's the kind of experience you've come to expect from the Renewal by Andersen name, and the promise you deserve with our signature service.
Here's what you need to know. Joe Biden will not raise taxes on anyone making under $400,000. Biden will get rid of Trump's tax giveaways for the super wealthy and make big corporations finally pay their fair share. Biden will use those savings to help working families and seniors, investing in lowering healthcare costs, improving education, and protecting Social Security and Medicare. Biden's plan. Corporations pay more. You benefit.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Services, save up to $2,500 on a new Lennox system. But hurry, it's a limited time offer and a beautiful thing.
This is an important election announcement. Early voting is open in Wisconsin. You can same-day register and vote at an early voting site during the one-stop early voting period. Don't forget to bring your photo ID when you go. Go to iwillvote.com and see where you can early vote now. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
6:14 now. One man is dead and an officer on leave after a shooting in Milwaukee. Police were responding to a call of a suicidal person yesterday. They found a man on his porch armed with a gun. Officers say the 43-year-old fired a round and then police returned fire. They were not able to save him. He died at the scene. The officer who fired his weapon first has been with the department for 22 years. He will remain on leave as that investigation continues.
The Wisconsin Dells man accused of helping in the plan to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer is out of jail this morning. Columbia County officials confirm he posted his $10,000 cash bail set earlier yesterday. The Columbia County District Attorney had requested a $1 million cash bond.
A fire on Madison's east side is estimated to cost around $30,000 in damages. It happened yesterday afternoon at a metal recycling facility. Firefighters believe gasoline was ignited by a spark inside an automobile shredder. Sycamore Avenue was closed for about an hour and a half while crews responded. The fire was several hundred yards into the property and pretty far from a hydrant, so crews had to connect one truck to a hydrant and then relay the water to a second truck. No one there was injured.
6:15 this morning. Developing now, firefighters battling the largest wildfire in Colorado history don't expect to have it contained for weeks. The U.S. Forest Service says the Cameron Peak Fire has burned more than 200,000 acres in the state's northern woods. It's only half contained despite the more than 1,400 firefighters battling it. The Cameron Peak Fire has forced hundreds of people to evacuate and damaged dozens of homes. This morning, the Calwood Fire in Boulder County, Colorado is only 15% contained, according to the U.S. Forest Service. It's burned almost 9,000 acres, damaging or destroying 26 homes. Winds were calm enough to allow aerial support Monday afternoon, but residents of some 900 homes are still under orders to evacuate this morning. The fire grew at a rapid pace on its first day, burning more than 7,000 acres on Saturday alone.
Here's an opportunity to see something pretty cool. The peak of the annual Orion's meteor shower will be early tomorrow morning, and that's when you can expect to see up to 30 shooting stars an hour. That's the biggest show in the fall night sky. Conditions may be ideal, too, since the moon will be set before midnight, making it nice and dark. The meteors we'll see are actually made up of dust and ice from the tail of Halley's Comet. Its leftovers are all we'll see of the comet until it makes a return in 2061.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't it? Yeah. So Hattie is out on the patio this morning. We just need some clear skies to cooperate overnight.
Yeah, just that one key piece, right, in the puzzle. And there is a chance that we could be able to see some of those meteors tomorrow morning. Take a look. The Orion meteor shower, again, an annual event this time of the year. These meteors, though, are sort of famous for their long tails, so they're kind of pretty meteors to watch for. And again, we're seeing up to 20 to 30 meteors per hour with this particular show this year. They originate close to the constellation Orion, but again, don't necessarily need to find Orion in the sky to see the meteors. It's actually better if you look away from that, so you have a better chance of seeing some of those longer tails. And again, here's a look at that cloud forecast. We'll start our future track forecast model at 9 p.m. this evening. Pretty cloudy with some rain moving through at that time, but as we head into the overnight hours, those clouds could start to break up a little bit, especially towards the pre-dawn hours tomorrow. So there is a chance early tomorrow morning that we could see some of those meteors. Temperatures aren't going to be as cold either. We should be around 40 degrees tomorrow morning. Here's a look at our current conditions this morning. We're closer to 30 this morning, 32 here in Madison. We do have cloudy skies right now. Winds are from the north-northeast. Here's your school day forecast. It is going to stay mainly dry through the day today, so no issues with precipitation if you're headed outside for a break from school. It is going to be a little chilly, though. That's why I put those yellow exclamation points on the map when the temperatures are in the 30s this morning. So take that into account as you head outdoors for a break. Coming up in just a few minutes, we'll talk more about those rain chances for southern Wisconsin, tell you when the rain is going to return and just how long it's going to last.
All right, Hattie, thank you. Developing this morning at 6:18, lawmakers have until the end of the day today to strike a deal on another round of coronavirus stimulus relief following a deadline set by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Well, she's laid down this sort of artificial deadline. So far, she's been playing politics and just wanting to, basically make working people continue to wait and suffer.
I believe that the Speaker is going to hang in there and try to get the best relief for people who are suffering.
The Speaker and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin continued to narrow their differences on a nearly hour-long phone call Monday. The price tag and how the money should be used remain key issues.
CVS Health is hiring 10,000 pharmacy technicians ahead of flu season. The company needs help administering COVID-19 tests and flu shots. An expanded scope of practice allows trained pharmacy techs to administer those vaccinations once they're available, as long as they're under supervision of a pharmacist. CVS is also recruiting several thousand work-from-home customer service service positions. If you're interested, you can apply online and then take an online virtual job tryout.
A local girl is doing all she can to make the world a better place for her older brother with obsessive-compulsive disorder. 10-year-old Dexter was diagnosed with OCD 2 years ago. His parents say the signs began appearing when he was much younger. His younger sister, Ruby, decided to make and sell pot holders to raise money and awareness for OCD causes. And this year, they're going door to door in neighborhoods around Madison. The family's trying to clear up misconceptions about OCD, stressing that it brings more challenges than just needing to keep things neat and clean.
I feel happy, sometimes sad, because I can feel what my brother is going through.
Sometimes some people make some jokes about OCD, but it's not funny. You're almost always worrying.
While Dexter's family says they've had some great therapists in the area, they'd love to see more options for local support groups for both young kids and parents. We have more information about their ongoing fundraiser on our website.
And take a look at this. Crews have successfully recovered this car from the bottom of the Mississippi. The car was first reported stolen from Muscadet out in southwest Wisconsin back in 2006. A fisherman first discovered the car about 3 years ago, but river levels and environmental concerns prevented attempts to remove it from the water. A dive team from Clayton County, Iowa finally pulled the car out over the weekend. An investigation remains open into how the once yellow Lincoln Town car ended up in the river.
What a rust bucket.
That is crazy.
I wonder what Kelly Blue Book would have praised that car for.
Can you imagine that fisherman thinking he was reeling in the big one?
He really did.
Good stuff.
All right, still ahead for us on a Tuesday morning, guys, why your Thanksgiving turkey might be bigger than your family needs this year.
And coming up in our next half hour with the start of in-person voting today, we're taking a look at a big referendum on your ballot in Madison. What it means for local schools. Stay with us.
I'm possible at Herzing.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? Household incomes down $6,500 a year. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home.
And here's how it works. I'm going to raise taxes.
Small businesses pay more. 5 million jobs lost.
You're going to get a tax raise.
An economy in ruins. That's what Joe Biden's tax increase means for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
It's A1 Furniture's 41st anniversary sale. Huge selection of name brand mattresses with free white glove delivery on any purchase of $9.99 or more. Plus, get 4 years free financing with qualified purchase. The best deal on a mattress is at A1 Furniture's 41st anniversary sale. On now.
If you're hearing a grinding or squealing when coming to a stop, it's time to have your brakes checked. Meineke's 23-point inspection will identify the problem and get them in working order. Stop in or make an appointment online today. Meineke, doing car care right.
How do I use better than bouillon? I just add a spoonful to my marinades. To stir fries? Sauces? Just whisk it in. Brush it on? Saute it. It adds a cooked all day taste. That doesn't take all day.
Better than bouillon. Don't just make it better.
Just one drop.
Gorilla Super Glue Micro Precise.
Of course.
Precise application, controlled dispensing with Gorilla Strength for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
We drive everywhere to help our son reach his dream of becoming an elite swimmer. So we enrolled in the Know Your Drive program with American Family Insurance. It gives us discounts for safe driving and other benefits, like emergency roadside service, which comes in handy, no matter where his dreams take him. With Know Your Drive, save up to 20% and get closer to your dreams. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
He's our independent voice who answers to no one but us, Todd Novak. Todd Novak is working across the aisle, passing the bipartisan COVID-19 relief bill, helping hospitals and communities get the resources needed to fight the coronavirus. Todd Novak is helping families, small businesses, and farmers as we work to rebuild the economy safely. And Todd Novak led the bipartisan effort to make sure our water is clean and safe for future generations. Our voice, Todd Novak for State Assembly.
Get more for your kitchen now at the Brothers Maine Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale. We want you to absolutely love your new kitchen, so you'll get big, big savings on the latest incredible products from GE and our risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee. We want want you to be 100% satisfied every time. That's why we're the More Store. The Big Kitchen Upgrade Sale with more selection, more savings, and more kitchen. Now at the Brothers Main, your local store for more since 1938.
All right, take a peek at this My Morning picture. Kind of quirky. Little sun on top of a pole.
Kind of looks like a light pole, too, or a cake pop.
Cake pop.
Cake pop. It is a light pole.
Too early for cake pops.
Cake pop for breakfast. I'm here for it, guys.
Very neat picture. What does your morning look like? Send us your pictures. Use the hashtag MyNews3Mornings. We can find and share our favorites on the program.
Well, trending now, we're just about a month out from Thanksgiving. Can you guys believe it? A month from Thanksgiving. Well, turkey farmers are already worried about the holiday this year. They're concerned about an oversupply of birds as demand declines due to stay-at-home orders. Major retailers like Walmart are stocking up on smaller turkeys because of smaller family gatherings, and farmers are trying to make sure their turkeys are the right size. One way they're doing this, putting the birds on a diet. Farmers also say they're preparing more hens to go on sale this year, which are naturally smaller.
I don't know about you guys, but I want a big old turkey for Thanksgiving.
I don't like this story at all.
Yeah.
Leftover turkey is the best.
Exactly.
I can eat that for days. I love it.
Your family makes those turkey sandwiches, Josh?
Yeah, like that's my dad's thing. Like he'll get like the best bread just so we can have like the turkey sandwiches for like 3 or 4 days after.
All about it.
And then you freeze whatever you don't eat and you can pull it out and make some soup later on in the winter when you're desperate for some.
I say it's not any easier to cook a smaller bird rather than a larger bird.
Yeah.
If you're going to go to the trouble, just cook up a big one.
Cook up a 24-pounder.
Go big or go home.
All right. Well, here's our forecast for today. It is looking like more like Thanksgiving than Halloween, with that snow marching across Minnesota and Iowa this morning. There is some snow in the forecast for the Northwoods, but here in southern Wisconsin, it'll be rain, and it'll come late this afternoon through this evening, taper off pretty quickly after midnight tonight. Any amounts are going to be late. Look at this guy, though, Rocco in Fitchburg.
We'll be right back, folks.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Introducing the Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Safely tour a vast array of expertly crafted homes from top builders across the area. Meet the builders, discover new design trends. Visit MadisonParadeOfHomes.com for more information.
Joe Biden was raised with middle-class values. Joe doesn't need to be the center of attention or see himself on TV. He has always focused on getting the job done. Joe led us out of the 2008 recession and increased health coverage for millions. As president, Joe will focus on getting us out of our crises. He'll listen to experts, work across the aisle, and put the American people first. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I wanted more from my COPD medicine. That's why I've got the power of 1, 2, 3 medicines with Trelegy.
The only FDA-approved once daily 3-in-1 COPD treatment.
Trelegy, the power of 1, 2, 3. Trelegy, 1, 2, 3. Trelegy.
With Trelegy and the power of 1, 2, 3, I'm breathing better. Trelegy works 3 ways: to open airways, keep them open, and reduce inflammation for 24 hours of better breathing.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Think your COPD medicine is doing enough? Maybe you should think again.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy. We know times are hard, and we're here for you. Find support at Trelegy.com.
I can't do another 4 years of this. I can't. There's never been more divisiveness in this country. It's frightening and sad. That was Trump's whole thing. You know, take the politics out of it and run it like one of his businesses. I know people were looking for that kind of change, but it's not working, you know. We've only gotten more in debt. We have this virus now out of control, people out of work, no health care. How is that helping people? We need someone that knows what they're doing, and I think it's Biden. I know he will listen to the experts. That's what we need. I trust him 100% to get this under control. He has the capability to bring us back together.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Introducing the Fall Parade of Homes, exclusively sponsored by Nuns. Safely tour a vast array of expertly crafted homes from top builders across the area. Meet the builders, discover new design trends. Visit MadisonParadeOfHomes.com for more information.
Early in-person voting starts today, and a $350 million referendum could be on your ballot. We're taking a look into a local school to show you how that money would be put to use.
And we have rain and snow in the forecast for the Badger State today. I'll tell you where that snow accumulation will be later on, coming up in just a few minutes.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. We are 2 weeks out now from Election Day, and we're just hours away from the start of early in-person voting here in Wisconsin. One important decision facing Madison voters November 3rd is a historic ask from Madison Public Schools.
The district is asking for a referendum totaling $350 million. Most of that would go to renovate 4 of the city's high schools. I recently got a tour of Madison East to see what type of shape it's in. It was built nearly a century ago, and if question 1 passes, it would be in line for a $70 million upgrade. It's a castle without royalty, a tower without luxury. To restore Madison East High School to glory, it needs a gift from its city. Head custodian Barry Truman knows this building inside and out. We asked him to show us around. A walk to his office gives us our first look at parts of this school few often see.
In the dungeon, the tunnel, we call it.
His job has turned into being a fixer. The key is keeping caught up.
I get anywhere from 30 to 50 emails a day. Mainly teachers that, need something fixed. Heating problems, cooling problems.
At the heart of that problem is a boiler that's more than 50 years old.
We run that in the wintertime when it's really cold.
And it can be taken for granted, but if kids aren't physically comfortable in the space they're learning in, it's very difficult for them to focus on their learning, and that's something we have to navigate pretty much every year.
Hard water is another issue that the district wants to fix. It's hard on the plumbing fixtures that Truman says he's constantly repairing. The boys and girls locker rooms would also get an upgrade.
You can't even get parts for them anymore.
The lockers in the hallways also show their age.
I spent probably at least 4 weeks this summer repairing the lockers. Yeah, and here we have...
Some desks are older than some of the students' parents.
You can't get the rivets anymore.
The outside of the building would also see a full renovation, including a new main entrance. Memorial, La Follette, and West High Schools would also see tens of millions of dollars in upgrades.
I think our students deserve, to have wonderful facilities that all the other communities are doing right now, and our kids deserve it as well.
So at $70 million a high school, you can imagine there are a lot of projects on these lists that we don't have time to get to. If you find this story on channel3000.com right now, though, you can find a link from a district website that lays everything out. Now, there's no official opposition to this referendum, but Blacks for Political and Social Action in Dane County does have a number of concerns, including moving ahead with the referendum during the pandemic. The group says that they have not been presented either with evidence that links additional public expenditures with increasing the academic performance of African-American students. Here's what this all means for you financially. Here's a breakdown of the taxpayer impact. If both questions pass, these are the numbers for an average home in the district, which is valued at $311,000. Next year, taxes would go up $184. By year 4, when the operational funding of this referendum would run out, the financial impact is $470.
Certainly not pocket change for taxpayers.
No. One thing to consider is that the capital improvements that they're talking about are going to be paid off over 22 years. I mean, so that's going to stick around for quite some time. The operational referendum part of this, which is question 2 on your ballot, That's a big chunk of money immediately that's just going to last for 4 years. Once that money runs out, we could find ourselves right back to square one, and they could have to go to voters again in 4 years to cover operational costs.
And there is some question as to how the pandemic will perhaps forever change what school looks like. I mean, students aren't even in the buildings right now.
And that's, I think, the biggest question right now is this the time to ask for this type of money? I mean, they had these plans in place before the pandemic started. They kind of paused for a bit when cases started to spike, but ultimately decided to go through with it anyway, partly because the superintendent told me that rates are so low on these loans right now that it would save a huge chunk in funding to do this now so they could pay those debts off even sooner.
Big question, and it's a question you can answer today, because today's the first day for in-person absentee voting. Coming up in the next 10 minutes, we'll be talking with Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald to answer your questions about the process, again, starting today across the state.
Developing right now at 6:34, a new ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court could preview what's to come for voters in Wisconsin. Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the court's liberal justices, saying election officials in Pennsylvania can count absentee ballots received as late as the Friday after Election Day. That's only if the ballots are postmarked by November 3rd. The Supreme Court also weighing a similar case in Wisconsin. Governor Evers filed the brief last week.
Officials in the Fox Valley area say a ballot misprint will likely delay absentee ballot counting on Election Day. The issue is a scratch on a timing mark at the edge of the ballot. You can see it right here. Elections officials say that scratch is going to cause an error message to pop up on the tabulator. The issue impacts more than 24,000 ballots, but they will all still get counted. Poll workers will transfer votes from those unreadable ballots to readable ones. This process is legal under state law, but if voters are uncomfortable, they can request to have their ballot spoiled and have a new one returned to them.
New information from the Wisconsin Election Commission shows a lot of voters are calling in and requesting to spoil or cancel their absentee ballot. The commission says the main reason is that voters have changed their mind on who they want to vote for. Other issues include damaged ballots or making a mistake when filling it out. State statute does allow voters up to 3 chances to spoil their ballot, whether that's by mail or in person. The deadline to spoil and request a new ballot is October 29th. It's October 30th for indefinitely confined voters. And we have new numbers in from overnight from the Madison Clerk's office that shows more than 70% of absentee ballots that they've issued have been returned to be counted. More than 1,000 of those ballots have been returned to local drop boxes across the city.
6:36 right now. Hattie joins us with a look at your first warn weather forecast. You know, yesterday felt like one of the Mondayest Mondays that ever Mondayed. Didn't it?
Was it Monday yesterday, Josh?
It was Monday yesterday. Yeah, like there were some snow flurries, the wind. I mean, it just felt very brutal outside.
It was a harsh reality, right? Of kind of where we're trending. It was much colder than it should have been. Take a look at the high temperatures. Just 36 in Madison and Mineral Point and the Dells. You barely made it above freezing with 32, the official high. Those 40s confined to far southeastern Wisconsin. Now today temperatures should be in the 40s for most of southern Wisconsin, so it is going to be a little bit warmer. All is quiet on the radar map. Josh mentioned some flurries. I saw some of those at my house in the afternoon as well. Nothing showing up on the radar map just yet, but if we zoom it out, you'll see some snow spreading into western Minnesota, northern parts of Iowa. This snow is going to work its way towards the east as we go through the morning hours. It's likely going to stay, though, north of our viewing area. High pressure has carved out a little hole in the cloud cover through northern Wisconsin. Clouds are advancing here, though, for the southern part of the state. Just no precipitation falling from those clouds just yet. Our temperatures early today are starting out right around freezing. 32 in Madison, 33 in Lone Rock, 34 in Janesville. In the Dells, it's a little cooler with 26 degrees. Now here's a look at your future track forecast model. Putting this map into motion, we are talking a lot of cloud cover through the day today. Our winds shift to the southeast, though, so by lunchtime, we should at least be in the 40s. Take a look at areas to the north and west, though, north of La Crosse, some snow starting to spread in there. Through the afternoon, high temperatures will top in the mid to upper 40s. That rain stays out of the area, though, this afternoon, returns this evening. We're looking at widespread light rain showers for the area. That rain snow line staying north of our viewing area, though. The rain comes to an end overnight. Total amounts less than 1/10 of an inch for most spots here in southern Wisconsin. Our forecast calls for warmer temperatures then as we head through Wednesday and Thursday. It's going to be a big warm up, but then a big cool down just as quickly. On Friday, highs in the low 50s. That'll be in the morning. Temperatures will fall through the day. We're also looking at some more rain before the week comes to an end as well.
Hey, holding on to that 67 though. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, that could be the last time we flirt with 70 degrees though this season. You never know.
Thank you, Hattie. 6:38 now to our coronavirus coverage. We are seeing new numbers from the DHS for the first time since Friday. The department's website had been down for system maintenance over the weekend. Because of that lapse in reporting, the DHS says we can expect to see higher case totals over the next few days. On its first day back, the department reported more than 7,300 new cases. Meanwhile, we're seeing the effect those new cases are having on our hospital system. Hospitalizations have doubled over the past 2 weeks at UW Health. A COVID unit at UW had been limited to 1 hallway, but because of this surge, it now takes up 3.
The average wait time for COVID test results is going down, but health experts say it's still too much time to wait to prevent someone from spreading the virus. A new survey from Northwestern, Harvard, and other top universities finds that the average wait time is about 3 days. That's down from 4 days in April. And while that's an improvement, experts say everyone should ideally be notified within 36 hours to make sure they don't infect others. Only half of those who tested positive have been contacted by a health worker to get contact tracing information.
New this morning, the CDC releasing some new guidance on wearing face coverings while using public transportation. The organization is strongly recommending you wear the face coverings while traveling on planes, trains, or buses. The New York Times, though, reports a stricter order requiring masks had been blocked by the White House. This comes as the government's independent watchdog investigation continues into the CDC. They'll see whether the Trump administration has improperly interfered with the pandemic response, not only at that organization, but also at the FDA. Senate Democrats have been demanding this investigation after reports from several news outlets detailed how political operatives have been trying to influence the agency's policies. Politico reports the probe isn't expected to begin, though, until January.
If there's one thing that people love debating on social media, is their favorite candy. And now we have a list for you guys to talk about this morning. 538 ranked the top 19 Halloween candies. They're on your screen right now, so come take a look. Number 1, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, followed by Reese's Minis. There are a lot of peanut butter candies rounding out the top 10, too.
Reese's at the top.
Look how low Skittles are. We mentioned this last hour. That's a little surprising to me.
Yeah, Milky Way, pretty high up there.
Not a Milky Way fan. I was surprised by this.
Not a whole lot to a Milky Way.
I'd redo this. I'd make Reese's probably 1 through 10 and then move Skittles to 11.
I know.
That's where they belong.
Reese's Cup, Reese's Minis, Reese's Fun
Reese's
Size.
White Chocolate,
Yeah.
Reese's Dark Chocolate, Reese's again, Reese's again.
For it.
Just can't go wrong with peanut butter and chocolate.
No, you can't. Not at all.
Even at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
Why not? No?
You got any in your desk today, Josh?
No, I don't,
How about the
unfortunately.
vending machine? Stop teasing us.
Maybe there is some in the vending machine.
Let's go check.
We have a vending machine?
We do. How long have you been here?
Come on, Chris.
6:41 right now. Let's take a look at your first warn traffic as you head out the door this morning. See if my maps go. There we go. Maybe the maps need a little candy this morning to get going. Look at the maps right now. Downtown area looking a little slow on East Gorham Street, East Wash. A few slowdowns there. Wider look at the Madison area. We're also starting to see a little bit more traffic volume on Park Street. But the Beltline, so far, so good. Let's take you down to Rock County right now. Also looking good on both Highway 51 and the interstate there. Let's take a live look outside right now on a Tuesday morning. Shot from the Edgewater Skycam as Hattie is tracking rain and snow. Yes, snow across parts of Wisconsin this morning. She's going to have a closer look and track that forecast coming up. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. We thank you for that, and we'll be right back.
Attention, fellow seniors. This election will determine your Medicare benefits. Under President Trump, Medicare premiums in Wisconsin have gone down 21%. But with the Biden-Harris health care plan, Medicare will change. Private insurance eliminated. Hospitals closed. You could even lose your doctor. Protect your Medicare coverage. Vote for President Trump. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane. It's always right there. Just boom.
It was easy to connect all of my devices, and
and I was able to find a plan that was affordable for me.
I'm saving money, and I'm even getting more speed.
Get the speed you need to do all the things you love on all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits. Switch now for $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
With Spectrum TV, the picture quality is incredible. I feel like I'm in the movie.
The amount of stuff available on Spectrum On Demand is just never ending.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
Spectrum gives me the best deal no matter what.
Every day I'm saving money.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Ask about our easy self-install options to install your new services yourself. Call 833-918-4499.
For over 60 years, wishes have come true at Blaine's Farm and Fleet's original Toyland. And now through Wednesday, our Toyland celebration has great deals for everyone's wish list. Like $20 off these present pets, only $39.99. Save $30 on this Milwaukee M18 2-tool combo kit. These Alfred Dunner women's fashion collections are half off. And donate an unwrapped toy to Kids Helping Kids and we'll match it up to $200,000. Wishes do come true. Now through Wednesday at Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Toyland celebration.
We aren't radical, so why would we want one representing us in Madison? Chris Marion is an extreme partisan liberal who's just fine with calling political opponents Nazis, dictators, and enemies. And Chris Marion wants to take more of your paycheck, too. Marion supports eliminating levy limits, causing property taxes to skyrocket, crushing families as they try to recover. And Marion backs the radical Green New Deal that will cost trillions, destroy jobs, and increase taxes. Chris Marion, just too radical.
At CBS News, true journalism listens to all voices and leaves the decisions to you. CBS News, America decides.
On the next slide before UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff has the latest COVID-19 news.
And Angie Horkin from the Wisconsin Beef Council has a great slow-cooking beef and mushroom recipe for you to try.
In-person absentee voting starts today in Madison. You might have some questions about the process or how to do it yourself.
So joining us via Zoom this morning is Dane County Clerk Scott McDonald to answer some of those questions. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing all right. Thanks for joining us. So the in-person absentee voting starts across the state today, but it's different for each municipality regarding the hours and the locations, right?
Yeah, make sure you check with your local clerk to see what the hours are. They'll have it on their website. You know, you don't want to show up and it's not open yet. So it really depends on the municipality. In Madison, for example, they are doing it at the libraries as a drive-through, but those hours, they don't start till noon. So just make sure you know what the hours are before you head out.
Yeah, good to know. What do you think we'll see as far as lines and wait times today?
So I think on the first day, typically there are lines. You'll see that in other states. You'll say, oh my gosh, there's this 2-hour long line. People bring their, their folding chairs and stuff. But really that's people trying to vote right away. There's two full weeks here of being able to vote in person early. And just wait a few days and those lines will go away. Election day, I expect if you vote in person on election day, it'll take you 5 minutes.
And you can vote at any location within your county, right? Provided you bring your photo ID.
So no, in early voting, you have to vote at your municipality. So you can, in Madison, you can go anywhere within Madison.
Okay.
But if you're from Middleton, you can't vote in Madison, etc. That also goes for the drop boxes. So a lot of people are worried about the mail. Now that we're a couple weeks out, you can't drop your absentee in someone else's drop box. So be really careful where you're dropping your absentee one as well.
So what's the biggest message you have to voters right now with 2 weeks to go?
Well, soon it will be over. But I think the key is there shouldn't be any waiting in line to vote. Just wait a little bit. I think that we've gotten a lot better at making sure that everything's clean, that there's social distancing. So I don't think you have to worry about, as long as you take normal precautions that you would any other situation, you can vote in person. I think if you just time it out a little bit, it should be quick.
All right, Scott McDonald, thanks for waking up early and joining us this morning. Great answers there.
Thanks, you guys.
So there are 13 locations where you can absentee vote in person here in Madison. That includes a number of libraries and spots on campus. Check our website for those details.
So can we also say soon winter will be over, Hattie, with the forecast like you got this morning?
No, we can't. Just looking at the calendar will tell you that that is false. We are just getting started. We do have some snow on the map, though, this morning. It is moving in this direction. Snow is in the forecast for northern Wisconsin today, but here in southern Wisconsin, by the time that precipitation reaches us, it will be in the form of rain. And that is after 4 p.m. Look for some light rain showers on and off through the evening. I'll show our Pet Walk forecast one more time because Rocco didn't get a lot of airtime last half hour. So here he is again in Fitchburg, ready to ride. 47. It's going to be a little chilly on the skateboard today, especially depending on how fast Rocco is going.
Doesn't look too impacted, though, there.
No, he's got fur.
Thank you, Hattie. Well, stick around. The morning sprint is coming up next.
Coast 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
I worked for 47 years. Donald Trump, he's talking about messing with my Social Security. Them guys think it's monopoly money? No, it's our money. We work for it. You don't get to play with my finances. You don't get to play with my security for my family. Joe Biden looks out for the little guy. He understands what seniors are going through. I think he's going to keep Social Security safe. We need to get Biden in there to protect it.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Replacing your windows with Renewal by Andersen is easy. We're here when you need us, and we'll work with you the way you want. We can inspect your windows from the exterior of your home. And when it's time to install your new windows, we complete most jobs in as little as 1 day, minimizing the amount of time in your home. Our teams take health and safety seriously. It's the kind of experience you've come to expect from the Renewal by Andersen name, and the promise you deserve with our signature service.
Services, save up to $2,500 on a new Lennox system. But hurry, it's a limited time offer and a beautiful thing.
Because talk is cheap. Let's look at what Joe Biden's done. During the last economic crisis, President Obama trusted Joe to lead the recovery and bring us back. Now he has the plan to do it again, to revive and reinvest in jobs and real help for middle-class families. He'll listen to experts to get control of the virus so we can build back even better. Joe Biden, a president to get it done. FFPAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
We took a bad economy that was falling and turned it around. Trump took a good economy and drove it back into the ditch through his failure to get COVID under control, his failure to deliver real relief to working people. Does he not understand and see the tens of millions of people who've had to file for unemployment this year so far? The people who lost wages while the cost of groceries have gone up dramatically? Donald Trump has been almost singularly focused on the stock market, the Dow and NASDAQ. Not you, not your families. My plan will help create at least 5 million new, good-paying jobs and create them right here in the United States of America. Let's use this opportunity to take bold investments in American industry and innovation so the future is made in America. I'll be laser focused on working families. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Free, safe therapeutic programs to address chronic pain.
6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We are exactly 2 weeks away from Election Day now, and we're just hours away from the start of early in-person voting in Wisconsin. If you choose to vote this way, you'll have to bring a valid form of photo ID when you go. We have more on what you should bring, where you can go, and what you can expect on channel3000.com.
Madison voters are going to see a $350 million referendum on their ballot for Madison schools. That money would go to renovate the city's 4 main high schools. Here's a breakdown of the financial impact if both questions pass. units. These numbers are for an average home in the district valued at $311,000. Next year, taxes would go up $184. By year 4, when the operational funding would run out, the financial impact is $470.
The Democratic Party of Wisconsin is launching a statewide Get Out the Vote tour today. The bus tour will feature state Democratic leaders, including U.S. Representative Gwen Moore and State Treasurer Sarah Godlewski. The Journal Sentinel reports it'll make stops in Madison, Waukesha, and Milwaukee today. It's going to hit Janesville later this week.
The Wisconsin Elections Commission will hold a special meeting today. They'll discuss a couple of topics ahead of the election. They're expected to cover how they'll handle election results and how they could use CARES Act funding. We'll be sure to bring you updates on channel3000.com.
Dozens of completed ballots are damaged or destroyed after a fire inside an L.A. area drop box. Investigators say the fire could have been intentionally set. Still not clear this morning. Local leaders say they hope it doesn't discourage people from voting. Instead of dropping your ballots off at drop boxes, you can always drop them back off at your local clerk's office.
Developing this morning, lawmakers have until the end of the day today to come to an agreement on a stimulus deal. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi set that deadline. She and the White House have been going back and forth for months over a potential deal, but no agreement has been made. The price tag and how the money should be used remain key issues.
State bars, restaurants, and other indoor venues will once again have to follow the governor's emergency order. A judge blocked the challenge yesterday to the 25% capacity limit Governor Evers had issued it 2 weeks ago until the Tavern League sued. The Tavern League now says that they will not challenge the new ruling.
Ivanka Trump will be back in Wisconsin today. This will be the president's daughter's second trip to Wisconsin in just a week. She'll go to Milwaukee for a campaign event today. Her visit comes 4 days after President Trump himself held a rally in Janesville. And a heads up, the Wisconsin National Guard's 54th Civil Support Team will be in town next week. They'll be doing training exercises at 2 Dane County locations. Today, they'll be at Middleton Community Church. Thursday, they'll be at Sun Prairie High School. Officials say you shouldn't get scared. You should expect, though, to see military vehicles in and around the area. The Civil Support Team responds to emergencies and terror events.
Game 1 of the World Series is tonight. Los Angeles Dodgers against the Tampa Bay Rays. Dodgers' 3rd trip to the World Series in 4 years. They haven't won the whole thing, though, since '88. Tampa's never won the World Series. They last made it to Fall Classic in 2008. First pitch is set for just after 7 tonight.
You could score some free tacos during those games. Taco Bell giving away free Doritos Locos if a base is stolen during the series. You'll have to redeem the offer through the Taco Bell app.
Let's talk about traffic now.
Rough. No.
Oh, boy.
Good one, Jack.
It's a Friday yet. Let's take a look at your traffic on a Tuesday morning. A closer look at the downtown area right now. We're starting to see a little bit more delays along East Gorham Street. East Wash looking slow as well. Park Street inbound to downtown looking a little slow. And Stoughton Road, if you're getting off on right there, the westbound lanes of the Beltline looking a little slow there. There's your drive times as you head out. Let's talk about some weather now. Hattie's standing by.
It is Taco Tuesday. Here are our temperatures this morning. 26 in the Dells, 31 though here in Madison. Metro Futurecast today shows you a lot of clouds. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer though. We should top right around 47 later on this afternoon. Look for some rain showers to develop late this afternoon and continue into this evening. Probability of precipitation ramps up after 4 or 5 o'clock here in Madison. Any amounts though are going to be light and all liquid here across southern Wisconsin. Temperatures continue the warming trend through Thursday, where we're talking highs close to 70 degrees. Some showers and even a few rumbles of thunder in the forecast Thursday. Falling temperatures on Friday, then back into the 40s for Saturday.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.